So I just wanted to draw your attention to, well, there was an announcement which was made, right, sometime back, which was about the fact that 22 lakh rupees per annum was the package, and it was actually coaxing a lot of the people to pivot towards
Yeah.
specializing themselves and their skill
Yes.
sets. And if you had that those qualities, you would be appreciated and rewarded. But if you were still following the conventional models of for example, the education, or if you were following the conventional legacy aspects, you might just get left out of the race. So do you feel with something like this coming in, that just accelerates the entire thought process?
Quite possibly, Sudhi, because all IT companies, they are demanding a certain kind of skill set and also AI enabled skill set. Like
Yes.
for example, they would prefer a person who has done some kind of an AI certification or some kind of a AI course, or they would prefer that. They are making very clear, because they themselves are also going through that phase of adopting and adapting to AI. So which is why that change is there. Even if, and they're making it very clear that if they're offering a certain kind of package, it will not be that if you know only maybe Java
Sure,
or
sure,
only a Python, and that's about it, and you are done.
sure.
That's not going to work anymore. That is certainly sure for the Indian IT sector.
With
If
this launch,
that's what you meant.
yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to understand from you. As far as the launch is concerned, what do you have to say as far as Anthropic's sentiment would be right now? I'd love for you to shed some light on that, because this is a big
I
win as
think they
far as
would
they're
be
concerned.
pleasantly.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I don't think they'll be surprised. But see, the CU has always. He has over the past few months, even in Davos, he had said that AI is going to take away a certain number of jobs. Certain engineering skills would be redundant after 6 months.
Hmm.
We will not need engineers. We will not need junior engineers after 6 months or by the end of 2000. These are very strong statements
Yes,
to
they
be
are.
made. And everybody, the entire globe was watching. It was covered by the international media.
True.
So I am sure Anthropic is kind of basking under the glory of what they have done and how they have kind of what do you say, that as
In
you
a
said,
way,
that
they've kind of walked the
in a way
talk.
they've, yeah, absolutely, they
Yeah,
have walked the talk. They have said and they have proved that this is what we are indicating. So
correct.
if now we are also looking at, there might be more either layoffs, or they might be trimming down in a different way. If they might not call it layoffs, but maybe role changeovers would happen. There would be a lot of I don't know if people would be even hiring from colleges this year, to an extent,
Oh wow!
because
So,
they
have you sensed that though? Have you sensed that they're basically, in terms of the on-campus hiring, are
there
at
might be a slowdown. There
okay?
might be a slowdown for sure. I mean, I was talking to an analyst. He didn't want to be quoted, but he said that something like this. It's not only about the stocks. It's also about the whole sector. And the fresh students who are maybe like passing out of college. It's a very big jolt, or rather a what do you see? What do you say? Kind
Puts
of
them in
a,
very uncertain times, maybe,
yeah,
Pallavi.
uncertain times. And then they can understand that maybe the degree is not enough. Maybe they have to either think of doing something else, or maybe pivoting their own career. So yeah, I mean, it's like a trickle down effect. It's not only the stocks, it's the company, it's internally, it's externally, it's in the entire workforce.
Fair enough. Pallavi, what about the Indian IT ecosystem? For example, I remember you were mentioning something to me a little while before we started about Zoho. I thought
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
very interesting that you were talking about that. I would love
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you to
So
let our
actually,
viewers
Sridhar
know.
Vembu was one of the first to react on X, and he said that how that there's a lot of fear among the industry, and both globally and in India, about how SaaS is going to the companies, they are going to survive AI, and how it's going to impact them, whether the companies are going to survive, whether what will happen to the workforce, how the Indian IT is going to be affected. And he also questioned, saying that how will Zoho, survive this?
Wow, that's a big
So
one.
That's a very big statement to make, and then he said that probably we all have to adapt.
Everyone has
So
to adapt, yeah.
so he gave a very clear indication that change is here to stay, and that's what everybody has to look forward to gain ground, whether it's a SaaS company or whether it's Indian IT.
You know, whether it be Jensen Huang, whether it be Sam Altman, whether it be Mr. Wembu himself, etc., or probably the people who are so ensconced, everyone is, of course, talking about the adaptability. Everyone is
Yes,
talking about the fact that we have to adapt. There is no other way forward. But the question I have
absolutely.
for you, Pallavi,
Yeah.
in conclusion is the time factor. Can we kind of predict how quickly are we supposed to adapt? Because the speed at which the developments are going, we can't even seem to understand where they are coming out. They're just coming out of the woodwork.
Right. So I like we saw 2025 was like it was a big year for AI when particularly in India when there were so many announcements that have been made. So I mean that's a direction that all of us are moving towards. And I believe that this year would also see a lot of changes in in Indian IT when it comes to adapting and adopting AI. Both you adapt to AI and you also adopt it, within the company, and how you can basically utilize the AI, still keeping the business model intact, or maybe pivot it a bit and kind of at least go forward, or rather continue to survive in the tech industry. And because even like the orders, they have also gone down in terms of both from the UK and from the US to the Indian IT sector.
Wow.
So even if the revenue is not immediately hit, as which we saw over the last quarter, but the fact that hirings have gone down, there has been a lot of trimming down in terms of departmental changes as well. So these are all indications that they are all gearing up, or rather they are facing it, that we all have to. I mean, it's not going to just continue as it was. That
Sure.
that formula is not going to continue. It has to change, and it will change. So I would say that without sounding too analytical, that 2026 would actually be a huge year, or rather the year of pivot for Indian IT.
Wonderful, Pallavi. Thank you so much for giving us your insights. And we, as always, will keep bringing you back on front page as this story and other stories, of course, keep developing. And wishing you all of the best. Ladies and gentlemen, that was, of course, Pallavi Chakravarti, an editor at AIM. We just have to elaborate on what just Pallavi said and say this in conclusion. Today, the outsourcing age has actually evolved into the agentic age. So for every engineer and CEO who's watching, the question is very simple. Are we selling manpower, or are we actually starting to sell the results? The roads for the AI economy are being paved, and they are being paved at breakneck speed. Of course, the ruins of the old billing models, as Pallavi just mentioned, this might be the year where that pivot has to happen, and it has to happen with a lot of alacrity. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Front Page by AIM Network. Please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, and tell us in the comments below. Is this the time to, well, go ahead and buy the dip, or is the billable hour officially dead? And always, of course, remember, think AI, think AIM.